I got sick at a time where, you could say I was at my prime, young, happily married, kids. I was told that I could go blind overnight, like just literally go to sleep and wake up one morning blind. There was a period of there for a couple of years where I was walking around photographing with my eyes closed, sort of shooting cowboy from the hip and allowing sounds of the local area and the ambience of the place to guide me as to what I shoot. I knew from a very early age that, I was going to be a photographer. I began with a Diana camera, a plastic toy camera, which was a gift from my father for my 7th birthday. My father was a very creative person. He was a musician, a session player in many bands. Even though I lost him at an early age, there's no doubt in my mind that he was a great influence on me. Here we are at St Bridget's Church on the corner of Marrickville and Livingston Road, one of the locations that I've used in the past in the covert night shoots that I do in Marrickville. We had a nice crew, we got an interesting car, we had a great model, and we were in and out in 5 minutes. Religion and what it has to offer visually for me is something that I always investigate and always explore and always try and push the boundaries. Growing up in a place and living here for 50 years, it's not only your life, it becomes your playground. My father passed of a heart attack in 1974 and I was 11 years old. He was 44 when he passed away. My brother was younger, but my mother, being the traditional, hardcore, working farm girl, remained a rock, and she never remarried. Okay, we're at the scene of another covert shoot. We were able to bring up another interesting car up here and again shoot nude photography with guns and other interesting props. I've never had any expectation on what makes a good photograph as far as my work is concerned. It's the intent as to why I shoot it and whether I've achieved the compelling outcome that I'm looking for. That's what I do. I create, I extol, I define, I reveal, I confront, provoke, challenge, make people think. And it's okay to look at it and say, well, that's a piece of shit. Well, that's only your view. That's it. So the art school days were really interesting because the teaching staff was also predominantly female, and most of those were feminists or lesbians. So here comes a young, arrogant, abrupt, abrasive Greek guy from Marrickville who wants to explore nude photography based on his cultural Hellenistic background, and they could only see it as tits and arse. It wasn't really till I left art school and I was able to unlock all the shit that they were throwing at me, that I was able to plug back into my kind of childhood memory and keep going. My mother was born in Olympia, Greece, and she migrated out here in the late 50s. And my father was born in Alexandria, Egypt, but his parents, my grandparents, originated from the island of Samos in Greece. Growing up with migrant parents in the area in the 70s, well, from about the mid-60s, let's say, was great, really. It was tough being a WOG and always being challenged. We as first generation here had to accept that growing up we had one foot in the old school of Greece or Southern Europe and one foot in this new place that was still redefining itself. You know, pushing, shoving, tension, ease. It was great. I know for a fact that any time I leave my house with a camera, I'm always guaranteed with a photograph. For me, I could walk out, you know, my front door, even as a little boy, and always was inspired. Another one of the locations where it was the scene of another covert shoot. One occasion we were able to climb on top of the containers, again a gun in hand, and sure enough the bird flew over and took the shot. And that photograph was taken in 2000. Working and photographing and living with the people here, I've been really blessed and privileged to kind of get an insight into a lot of the subcultures here. I was very fortunate, and still am, that people are comfortable with coming up to me and are willing to make a strong statement about themselves and have it out there in the public domain. I was diagnosed in my early 30s. I had a very hideous autoimmune blistering skin condition. It was such a hideous disease because it was very visual. Diagnosed that I didn't have much time to live a long time ago. Proved them all wrong. You get sick and you want answers, and if people aren't giving you answers, you get angry. And then, you know, you start pointing the finger and getting depressed. When you suffer for a long time, you quickly work out who your friends really are and the people that really care for you and understand you. I've been the best I've been for a very long time, and I've come out of it with, I guess, an outlook where I am more arrogant, I am more, you know, abrasive, I am selfish, because I know how much my time is precious, and I'd only want to spend it with people that make me laugh, spend it with my family. I've never been afraid of death, because I've been around enough death to know that if you become accustomed to the fear of death, you're not afraid really of dying.